Coming up towards us now is number 6 in the programme. That's a 1968 Lister, a platform truck again, and if you notice, it doesn't look anything really spectacular, but when this was new, the bed was about twice the length that it is today. That had a very, very long platform on the back, but it's since been shortened. When it was initially designed and initially built, it was for use for carrying aircraft engines, and this was supplied to Coventry Airfield for transporting aircraft engines around the airfield, and it's owned by Bill Manning. The number 7 is the Lister Auto Truck, and if you look at this one, look at the bed. That's what tells you the story here. Not just the bed, the load space, but the whole chassis of this vehicle is heavily galvanised, and this is to withstand salt water, and lots of it, because this particular auto truck was used at Paul Perro. It was the property of the Harbour Trust, and it was used to carry the crates of fish direct from the little fishing boats that used to come in at Paul Perro Harbour and carry it up the steep narrow streets to where the waiting lorries were to take the fish away. Because of course you can't get lorries down those narrow inclines in Paul Perro Harbour. Was retired in 2003 because of health and safety regulations. They didn't think it was an appropriate thing to use anymore. Tut tut. And it's owned by Pete Merritt there, beautifully preserved, nice piece of history. Number 8 now is the 1976 Lister, built after the auto truck parts of design had been taken over by DP Engineering. Unfortunately, Listers didn't carry on manufacturing these right to the end. DP Engineering carried on, and here's an example of the new lease of life for the auto truck. It worked around Buckfastleigh in Devon, and is owned by Mr. Stamp from Newton Abbot. Number 9 now, another Wrigley, but this is 1971, and this is the Wrigley Union drop side. The dark blue paint on there harks back to its original use, where it was used by the Royal Navy, and this is quite an appropriate vehicle because many dockyards and shore storage facilities actually use trucks like this, and indeed trucks with trailers of this type. So this is an ex-naval Wrigley drop-side truck rebuilt by the owner, Mr. Hayes. Now number 10, and we're moving up in size a little bit. This looks like a real live tractor, doesn't it? Well, this was a bit of a land train really, because Mercury trucks did all sorts of work and were generally rated a bit heavier than the Wrigleys because they were designed for haulage, albeit on a mini scale, more haulage than goods carrying. And this is the Mercury Mertruck Tug, built by the Mercury Tractor Company, quite possibly used by the Great Western Railway at Exeter St Thomas's station. It's actually powered by a Ford 10 horsepower side drive engine, and it's got the Ford 3-speed gearbox as well. Rebuilt by the owner in 2004, that's Mr. Hayes. And this is followed now by the 1946 Lancing Bagnall tug. This is another example of a tug. Tugs like this were built in 1946, ordered by the Ministry of Supply. Things like this would be found on airfields, doing all sorts of jobs around aircraft, hauling bomb loads even, all sorts of other items out to the aircraft. But of course it had plenty of civilian specifications as well. And they're fitted with side valve Morris commercial engines. A pre-war Morris commercial engine was used on these particular Lancing Bagnall tugs. Capable of hauling 25 tons on level ground, and is owned by Mr. Gulliver out here in the arena this afternoon. Thank you. And now, following the